It is another edition of the On the Mic podcast, and it's been a long time since we talked, but I'm happy to welcome back to the podcast. She'll be fighting at XFC 50 in Florida on Friday, April 12th, the one and only. Probably even better because it's not Friday the 13th. You get Saturday the 13th the next day, but it might be scary time for our opponent. Welcoming back Hannah Goldy. Hannah, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So it's been a while since we talked. Obviously, there's been a promotion change, there's life changes, everything going on. How have you kind of dealt with just the changing of promotion and everything that's happened so far in your career?
Honestly, like I feel that everybody kind of like tiptoes around like asking the question about like getting cut from the UFC. And like to me, like I knew that if I didn't win my Mizuki fight, then I was gonna get cut, like I kind of like went in knowing that and like not feeling any extra pressure, honestly. Like I just still was like thinking about that fight and nothing after. And I honestly feel like grateful for the opportunity to get to kind of fight regionally a little bit and kind of like be able to put my skill set together against not like UFC caliber opponents. And that's not to say that like, Tay is, not a worthy opponent, but I just feel like I in the UFC, like I said it multiple times, I feel like I got into the UFC a little bit early. I feel like I wasn't really developed as a complete mixed martial artist until kind more so like the end of my UFC career. And at that point, it was like I was trying to put it together against the best girls in the world. You know what I mean? So like I think I'm just grateful to have an opportunity to kind of fight regionally a little bit and just like get better, like that's it. I just want to keep getting better and, just keep enjoying the ride.
Yeah, well, definitely didn't want to tiptoe around it. Just didn't want to ask it in a disrespectful way because I know
I
some people could. They'd be like, "So, what's life been like since you got cut from the UFC?" But
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Even my manager, like when he called me like again, like I kind of knew that that was gonna happen, and like he called me and I didn't answer, and then he texted me and he's like, "Hey, like Mick said he's gonna have to let you go," and I was like, "Okay, cool, like no worries." And then he's like, "Call me back," and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm fine, honestly." Like I knew, you know what I mean, like I'm an adult. I'm a professional. Like I didn't do what I had to do in order to stay in that promotion. And like definitely moving forward, like the goal is to fight back to the UFC unless like another opportunity that aligns with my life better comes along. But yeah, I like I said, I feel just grateful to be able to continue to get better and just like keep going on the journey.
and I think that's the best part. In both, I'm a smart guy. You're gonna love this how I phrase this question. In both your age and in your career, you're still relatively very young. So having that goal of being like, I'm not done just because I got cut, but putting it all together in another promotion, the goal is obviously to fight back in the UFC. What are you hoping to accomplish along the way? Because at your age, at this stage in your career, there's so much more time and opportunity for you that if you just put it together along the way. So, what are you hoping exactly to put together?
I think like I just need to build my confidence in like my new skills, like I do it in the gym. It's just like for me being able to do it like when it comes time. And like I think the more experience that I get, like the easier that's going to become, right? Like experience to me is the best teacher. And yeah, like I just want to go out and like put it I just want to, be a mixed martial artist and like use my striking, use my grappling, use my wrestling, use everything like, just like get more experience and like when I do get back to the UFC because like I do plan on doing that, like I feel like I'm just going to be more complete and like have confidence in my completion.
What was your biggest takeaway as you sit here now, just about a week away from your fight, your first fight outside of the promotion in MMA? What do you take away, like the biggest, whether it be lesson as a fighter or lesson as a woman or both, that you took away from your time in the UFC?
I mean, I've said this a lot too. Like I obviously am so grateful that I had the opportunity to fight for like the biggest stage in MMA. But I'm so much more grateful for all of like the relationships and connections and experiences that I've had along the way. I've met so many amazing people, so many amazing women, and like some of my best friends are girls now that, like I've competed against, I've trained with, like, and it's just like it's really empowering, like the sport of MMA is obviously growing, but women's MMA is obviously growing massively as well. And it's just a really cool community to be a part of, and I'm just grateful for that, like the relationships that I've created and the experiences that I've been, blessed to have. And just like it's my life, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like what we like we're fighting, like we go out, like once that fight's over, like that shit doesn't fucking matter anymore. You know what I mean? But like the relationships that you have and like the experiences that you have, like that follows you and like that is your life. You know what I mean? Like the fight's 15 minutes, maybe 25 minutes if you have a title fight, like then what? Like I'm just grateful that like I'm able to enjoy my life, like doing what I love.
And I love that because the opinion of the drunken fan who has an opinion on your 15-minute fight doesn't mean as much as those sharing, the gym with you, the mats with you, and the festivities afterwards. If I can say so, and I'm never one to judge a book by its cover, but just by watching through your social media posts and everything, life just seems to be good, and where you're at now. Obviously, working hard as a fighter, continuing to stay a professional, being a mother, like, where's your confidence at both in life and in your career right now?
I think honestly, like my confidence, though obviously like it wavers day to day, right? Like we all have good days, we all have shitty days, but I think like over the past few years, like I've just like kind of like found myself as a person, and like I've more so realized that like I have so much confidence in myself as a woman, you know what I mean? Like I love the person that I've become. I feel like I'm growing and evolving every single day, and like that directly translates into like me as an athlete, like I am going, like when I perform, when I train, when I compete, like I'm expressing myself in a way, and like that is me, like so I'm just excited to go out next weekend and like express myself and show myself, you know what I mean? Like bring that confidence that like I have in my everyday life into the octagon with me.
And I will be asking you about your opponent, but I'm just loving this opportunity to catch up with you and have everyone hear about, just this confident Hannah Goldy and just how life has been for you. So I'm gonna ask you first, like as a fighter, because whether it's somebody on the regional scene who might be a young female athlete, or maybe it's someone in another big name promotion, whether it be the UFC or elsewhere, and maybe they're on the brink of not knowing their next step in their future. What have you learned that you can share to go, it's okay if your next step isn't your best step, and use that opportunity to take advantage of what lies ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean, I think like to me, regret is just, or, like it's just like a wasted emotion, right? Or like living in the past, like stressing about something that already happened that you can't change. Like all you can do is move forward, right? And like you can like stay engaged in the present moment, and then like take the next step like towards like getting to what you want, but like the most important thing is like being mindful and like being in the present moment. I was telling one of my teammates yesterday, like I asked him, because he lost his last fight, and I was like, how are you feeling, like how do you feel about your fight? And he's like, yeah, I feel like shit. And I was like, do you like remember your fights? Like when you fight, are you like able to like recall like what's going on? Because probably my first, I don't know, 8 or 9 fights, I literally like blacked out. Like I like look back at the video and I'm like, I did that. That was me. Like when did that happen? Like because I was not engaged. And then I started practicing mindfulness and like being engaged and like staying in the present moment, like as an athlete, but also as a person, like just taking advantage of what's in front of you when it's in front of you. Like my fight right now at this point is still so far away. Like the only thing that I can do right now is focus on like my strength and conditioning workout tonight, getting the rest and recovery that I need after that tonight. So it's like just take the next step, like just do the best you can at the next thing, and like just, you know, I mean, that I think that would be it. It's just like just stay engaged and enjoy your life and enjoy the process. Cause like at the end of the day, like if you're not having fun, like this shit ain't for you. You know what I mean? Like my coach reminds me of that all the time. It's like we don't have to do this, we get to do this. And I think that that's like a mindset that I try to keep again, like in the gym and in my life, is like we're not a victim. You know what I mean? Like life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. And like you just gotta just enjoy the ride.
I love that. Thank you for that. And I'm going to turn it, and it's going to be basically the same question, but if it's a young woman not in the octagon, right? Whether it's, they've been following you, they're a fan of Hannah Goldy, and but they want to know Hannah Goldy the woman, whether it be for their life, relationship, or profession. What has this time away from, you made it to the UFC, you're taking a step out of the UFC, you're going elsewhere, but you're growing as a woman as well, and you're improving and upgrading in life and in your mindset. What can you say to women who may come across you or your story, and how can they use you as a motivation or an example to better their life, whether it be, like I said, profession, relationship, or just their overall life?
I think just in general, like when it comes to any aspect of your life, is just like know your value and like value yourself. You know what I mean? Like if you don't value yourself, then nobody else is going to, right? Like if you don't demand respect, then like most people probably won't give it to you. Like, and just yeah, I mean, just value yourself, like don't sell yourself short, like give yourself grace. I think that's like one of the biggest things for me too is I've always been really, really hard on myself. And like at the end of the day, like we're human and like we make mistakes and like we lose fights or we fuck up relationship. You know what I mean? But it's like all you can do again, like is take the next step and just like just show yourself grace, show everybody in your life grace, and just like, know your value.
Well, the last time we spoke, I think highly of you as a person and as a fighter. The promotion doesn't change that. Those thoughts are still the same as they were the last time we spoke. But coming into this fight now, we get all the good motivational talk out of the way. XFC 50 on April 12th, Tati Garcia will be your opponent. What are you expecting from your opponent, and how are you coming into this fighting mentality? Is there one thing you want to showcase, or are you looking to showcase everything?
I want to showcase everything, like I said, like I really just I want to put it together and like more so than even like a specific skill set. Like I just want like my energy to kind of like shine through in this fight. You know what I mean? Like I want to put on a show. Like I want people to like just see everything kind of come together for me, and like I just want to show what I can do because I just feel like I have not yet in any of my fights. Like I just don't feel like I've really shown my true potential, and like I want that for myself too. Like I want to go out there and just like I want to like peak performance. Like that's what I want, and that's what I'm aiming for.
And I know it's just in the moment, one step at a time for you, but do you have a timeline? Is it written somewhere? Is there, kind of a blueprint back to either the UFC or another promotion? Are you just going to go fight by fight, day by day, week by week?
Yeah, definitely at this point it's still fight by fight. Like honestly, I was not like this opportunity was a surprise to me. So at this point like I'm not under contract with anybody, and obviously like we'll see how this fight goes and then go from there. Like I'm just focused on Friday night, and then after that whatever opportunities become available, I'm open to hearing all options. I also am still really, really interested in like continuing to compete on the grappling scene. I've been asked by FPI to compete for them again and some other big grappling shows. So, that's like something that I can do on the weekends, like even in fight camp, like close, like or far enough away from the fight. So I just want to compete more and like I said, just see what opportunities come up.
That's beautiful. And in your time and when you started your career and where we're at now, obviously there's been a lot of growth, not only within yourself, but as you said, in women's MMA. And you talked about how, some of your best friends are now, part of that whole circle. We see even in the UFC, Laura Sanko now commentating on fights, not just behind the desk. And we're seeing women's fighters just come to the limelight more and more. How proud as a woman are you to see every step that this sport continues to take, essentially week by week?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think it's like super empowering. You know what I mean? Like, we are women in a predominantly male sport, right? But like, I just think it, like all of these women, like all these athletes, it's just such a great example for anybody coming up, whether you're an athlete or not, like just go out and like do what you want to do, like chase your dreams. Like don't let people tell you no. Don't take no for an answer. Like if it's something that you want, go after it, chase it, and like don't let like slip ups or setbacks stop you from doing what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like I could potentially never make it back to the UFC. I could potentially lose every fight that I have from here on out. But like I never like until I'm done, like until like my heart no longer wants to do this, like I'm still gonna do it. You know what I mean? So it's just like I just think just chase your dreams, like that's just what I'm seeing like all these women do is just like they're doing what people probably thought that we couldn't do 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Nobody wanted to watch women's fights 15 years ago. And now, like in my opinion, they're some of the best ones. So it's like just, chase your dreams, keep doing it. Don't take no for an answer.
One thing, and I try to have, obviously very serious conversations, but one thing I've loved about following you through social media and throughout your career is like all the respect. You just don't give a shit sometimes. And I love that. So my best thing about you is like calling out the trolls. And I love hearing you talk about empowerment and confidence. And can we just dive in on just the stupidity of trolls and almost, and I hate to say this, sorry guys, but men in general. Like I've seen some posts recently and I'm like, I love this. Like continue to do it because that almost adds to the empowerment as well.
Yeah, I mean, I like waver back and forth with that. Like because some days like I see shit and I'm like, I just don't fucking have time for this. You know what I mean? But some days I'm bored and I'm like, fucking whatever, let's just engage a little, be funny. Or just like, but it's also like that's what they want. You know what I mean? Like they want the reaction, like typical narcissism, like they're saying something because they want you to react. And then like when you react, like they kind of win either way. So like I do generally try not to like give into it, but like I said, sometimes it's just too good, sometimes it's just too hard not to. Like I'm a very sarcastic person. I like again, like I'm confident in myself. I like who I am. I know who I am as a person. I know I'm a good person. I know I have a good heart. Like so I really just don't give a fuck what anybody says about me at this point in my life. You know what I mean? Like I have a beautiful son. I just bought my first home. I drive a Bronco. Like I do whatever the fuck I want whenever the fuck I want. Like you telling me that I look like a man on my photo is not going to ruin my day. But like the fact that like you're taking time out of your day to do, it's just like it's like what is it? What's that saying? Like what Sally says about Susie says more about Sally than Susie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, I just sometimes it's too good. Like honestly, sometimes I see some like negative remarks to me and I'm like, damn, touche, like that was a good one. Like people like I'll like be laughing at myself. I'm like, damn, like that's true. But I think that just is like you just can't take life too seriously. You know what I mean? Like if you can't laugh at yourself and make fun of yourself, then I think like that's something that you probably have to work on. Like I even like when I talk to my best friends too, like about our like past traumas and stuff, we're like just like hysterically cracking up about like all these terrible things that have happened to us. Because it's like, what else can you do with it? Like there's already so much like sorrow and misery and suffering in the world. It's like if you can like turn it around and like make light of it, I think I'm always looking for an opportunity to do that.
I love that. And just to clear it up for anyone listening or watching, when she said you saying on her photo that it's not me. I've never said she looks like a man on any photo. I'm smarter than that, and I don't want my ass kicked. And both of those things, come to light there. But just to wrap on that, right? Because it's usually the guys with like Cheeto dust on their fingers, living in their mom's basement, or don't have a job, or don't have a car. Like, let's just put it out there. They don't get to you. They may get a response, but all in all, it's just you've got time for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the random day that like I don't have 700 things to do and like I'm like maybe chilling like like I really don't even respond. Like my friends get mad at me because I like don't even like their photos on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like I have to like make it a point. I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna designate 15 minutes to go show all my girls love, like and go comment heart eyes and stuff because I just don't have the fucking time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just don't give a fuck either. Like I really like I said, I like who I am. I'm confident with where I'm at in life. And like at this point, like if I didn't have to have social media to make money, I literally wouldn't. It's just one of those things that the bigger your brand gets and like the bigger your platform is, the more haters you're gonna have. And like if you don't have haters, like you ain't made it yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like and any like to me too, I always tell people coming up to like any publicity is good publicity. You know what I mean? Like you're saying my name, like you're drawing attention to me. So, you know, whatever. Everybody can talk, everybody has an opinion, and the only people's opinions that I care about are the people that I care about and the people that I love. So everybody else can just basically go fuck themselves.
This is the best. I'm loving this, and we're gonna end it on a lighthearted note. But I gotta ask because I know how hard you train. I know how hard you work as a professional athlete, as a professional mother, or a fighter, and I know how hard you work as a mother, and I guess a professional mother as well.
Totally.
Outside of fight camp, what's your favorite activity to do with your son?
With my son,
Yeah.
we really like to go to hip hop dance classes. I posted a little video of him the other day, just a little teaser. We did a hip hop class a few weeks ago and we danced to Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott. And he was like obsessed with the song, obviously. And like every time like there was a swear word, he's like, shit, like swear like super hard. But yeah, we like to dance. What else? We like to go to the movies. We like to go to the beach. I love to be outside. I mean, honestly, anything like with him and I, like we're both just like total goofballs. So I feel like we could like literally go to the grocery store and have like a hilarious time. So I just enjoy spending time with him. And, he's like my best friend. Whatever we do is going to be a good time.
I can't wait for the time when he gets old enough that he starts responding to the trolls in public for you. That's gonna be great.
He he defends his mama, like for real. Like he'll do it to anybody. Like if even if somebody like is joking around with me, like he's like, don't talk to my mom like that. Like don't, like he's very protective over me. So yeah, I can just imagine when he, gets a bit older, how awesome that's gonna be.
That's amazing already. All right, two-part here. What is the best movie you've seen? And then what's the best movie recently you've seen with him?
The best movie I've seen like ever or
No, just recently, like recently for yourself.
movie. Oh, gosh, I've been like on shows. Like I
Okay, then
honestly,
what's the best show?
well, I'm like new. I'm like a diehard for like trash like reality dating shows. So like I watched a lot of those, but I just like got onto The Bachelor. So I started watching the new season of The Bachelor and then realized like I binge watched like the first 5 episodes thinking that the whole season was out and then was heartbroken when I had to wait like an entire week for the next episode to come out. So then I started watching another season and I watched that in like 4 days and just finished the newest season. But yeah, so The Bachelor's kind of my guilty pleasure right now. And it's funny because like I remember my mom used to watch it when I was growing up, and I'm like, oh my god, mom, you're so lame. Like you're watching The Bachelor now.
As a guy who watched Jersey Shore religiously, I cannot judge. I
Yeah,
cannot.
I
That was
mean,
my reality dating back then was
it
Jersey.
was good. And then me and Odin saw. We saw Wish, and that's actually about to come out on Disney Plus. Not like little plug in for them right there. But that was a good one. And then we saw this movie Migration about like ducks that were migrating, and that was really cute too.
That's coming out on Peacock. It'll be out next week on Peacock. So I have no shame. I can't wait for Migration to come out because I want to watch it at home.
Did
Um,
you watch Roadhouse?
I did watch Roadhouse. Did you enjoy
I
it?
I watched it. I did watch it.
All
I
right,
mean,
let's dive in real quick. Okay, everyone knows who Conor McGregor is, first and foremost. If you're in the fight game, you know how Conor McGregor is. If you liked Roadhouse, the original, you know it wasn't like Oppenheimer. So I don't know what people were expecting. Like, not that this became a film podcast, but I don't know what people were expecting. Conor played up to who Conor McGregor is.
yeah,
Right?
I
Roadhouse played up to 2024.
I know, and I like think that's the thing. Everyone's like the acting was terrible, and I'm like, but like it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like what it was. Like it was kind of like a spoof. Like it was still, like you take it for what it is. But like, I mean, obviously not my favorite movie of all time, but like I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. Like it kept me engaged. So I mean, whatever. I thought it was good.
I was walking around the house that whole weekend yelling Dalton, and people were like, what is wrong with this guy?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I started talking like him, like who the fuck? And I'm like, oh.
Wait, as someone who made that walk though, and then got in front of the crowd and got on the scale during like ceremonial weigh-ins, how do you think Jake Gyllenhaal was feeling? I'm sorry, give me a second. Sorry about that.
No,
Freaking
you're good.
car alarm went off, so the dog started freaking out.
No, I was thinking you could hear Tata breathing earlier.
But as someone who's made, that walk in front of the crowd, stepped on the scale in front of the crowd, how do you think Jake Gyllenhaal was feeling? I know he was filming for a movie, but that was a real life, like come out ceremonial walkout weigh-in. What do you think that was like for him?
I just think like that's so cool that he got to experience. You know what I mean? Like I think obviously it's so like Jake Gyllenhaal is like an A-list celebrity, right? Like like amazing actor, like done all of this stuff, but like he's never got to experience something like that. You know what I mean? So for him to be able to experience that, I would imagine like it was probably pretty cool for him. And honestly, he probably got some nerves. You know what I mean? Like that's just like a different, it's a different setting. It's like if, like people say to me all the time, like, it's crazy that you fight. And I'm like, you're a doctor. It's crazy to me that you fucking diagnose people and like save people from dying. You know what I mean? It's all like relative to like what's normal for you, So like acting in movies is normal for him, but like getting up on stage, like even like getting in the cage and like like learning. I mean, I'm sure he looked fucking jacked for that movie, and I'm sure he's in good shape. And so many people now like do boxing and do MMA and do jujitsu like as a hobby. So it's cool to see that kind of like play out in the movies.
Would you want a future in Hollywood?
I definitely would. I would do it for sure. Like I took a couple acting classes um like a year or two ago, cuz like I actually was there was like a potential opportunity for me. It didn't end up panning out, but I would do it for sure. I hope I can act better than Connor, but
We got to get you on a movie. I listen. Frank Yeager was just in a movie recently. In
yeah,
like, January. I mean, look.
I'm always like, dude, like I could be like a Marvel character. You know what I mean? Like I would like I wish I could have been in like Wonder Woman or something. I would have just been like an extra in the movie. Like I'm just like a jacked blonde chick. Like, come on, put me in
I,
something.
I would have casted you over the original Captain Marvel because and the Marvels, the three of them, that was not a great one. That got skipped very quickly on my Disney Plus Marvel queue. But I've enjoyed this film talk with you, and Hannah, I've enjoyed just this live talk with you, and I thank you so much. Hopefully, it doesn't take 2 years for us to talk again.
I know.
Um, no, well, honestly, I just love talking to someone like, and I hate to steal it from him because I'm gonna sound like such a bro right now, but so many guys in their 30s listen to Joe Rogan and then think it's all gospel. But the number one thing he's always said that I've tried to make this podcast about as well, besides just having conversation about a fight or a fighter, but about life is love. And I'm not saying you did, but love's when somebody has it all, fucks it up, and then they got to go get it again.
Yeah.
And that's his favorite life like path. Talking about the guy like Jeff Bezos who just became a billionaire and just everything's fine, or the person who inherited his family's business, like that's all easy to talk about. So thank you for being so open about everything because not that you fucked anything up, but the fact that you're able to come in now, take a step back, see everything. And I'm again going to be corny and quote Max Holloway. He said, when your back's against the wall, you get to see everything in front of you. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying your back is against the wall, but everything is in front of you now. And just seeing the progression of happiness and confidence just in your social media and now talking to you after 2 years, I'm so happy for you. XFC 50 in Florida, April 12th. It's April the 13th, or it should have been Friday the 13th weekend, but I'm sure to be scary hours for you inside that competition.
Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait.
I can't wait for you. And like I said, hopefully it doesn't take this long to talk again. All the best to you. All the best to your son. And if we ever want to chop it up over some movies, let's just talk some movies. That was
Let's start a podcast.
I'm so down. I work from home now, so all literally just podcasting is my life now. So can't wait to see you in there. All the best, and hopefully you'll be hearing from me shortly after your fight.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.